All right, it looks like we were about to go live before you asked for it. Stay. That's not I like that. Oh, legal weed. We're about legal weed. It's not going away though. That's just like filler conversation.
You never have a hard time finding things to
Not at all. Your hair down though. Hello, and we are here with You Asked For It on Jess FM. So we're pretty excited about tonight's show. We're just setting up our live social media so you can all watch us and tune in. If you want, we can share it on your Facebook wall. That's right.
Oh.
If you have your phone out, that's my phone. Sorry, I was like thinking it was yours. So, and you asked for it. For some reason, it's
You do
a
have
horrible movie called The Other
about
Woman.
an affair, but
The Other Woman.
and like Ali Larder.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Well,
Wow.
trying to, or what was it called?
Anyway, remember when she tried
Obsessed.
Obsessed? It was called Obsessed.
Can't
but, yeah, but she also tried to be Diana Ross in that movie called
Dreamgirls.
But Diana Ross did it better. So I'm very happy that she did not.
Jennifer Hudson was amazing in that movie.
Is that Dreamgirls?
Yeah.
Yeah, Beyonce wasn't. So we're so happy that Stars Born
And
starred
Gaga
Lady
got
Gaga.
the role, and
Yeah.
it was amazing.
So I actually went to Stars Born at 1 o'clock yesterday after Remembrance Day. I went with my good friends Spencer and Stacy and Amy, and we went without a lot of expectations.
Yeah.
And we were kind of blown away, and it was pretty funny because by the end of the movie, all three of us were crying. I looked over and I see like, you know, 3 adults in their late 20s like crying.
Late 20s. Bless you.
And it was a very awesome movie, and I want to talk about those topics with everyone, but I was so moved that when Austin got home from Calgary yesterday, I said, Austin, let's go see A Star Is Born because I want to review it on tonight's show. So that's how much it affected me personally, and I wanted to share it. And the fact that I have two of my best friends in the world here tonight to talk about it is very exciting. And my other best friend, Stacy, who came to the movie last night, said she painted her kitchen listening to the soundtrack and bawling. And it was very interesting. Sorry, Stacy, to say this, but she said, I felt more like Bradley Cooper than Lady Gaga, which was kind of interesting. So they, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. And so, like, you know, you can, we talked about this, the fact that you could relate to the characters in many ways, not.
Yeah, I think that gender like idea has been taken away. That like a woman could no longer relate to a
just
man,
a male
a
character.
straight woman and a straight man.
I think a lot, like you can relate to a lot of these themes in this movie.
Not even just the main characters. Our friend said he related to
The
like,
brother.
the brother's
Oh, well.
situation where like he had to go in and like clean up his brother's mess all the time too. So
We took our friend Ben to the movie last night, and actually, that's all right, Ben. Our friend Ben, and he related to the brother character, and I thought that was interesting because it wasn't a character I related to,
Yeah.
but he was like the takeaway from the movie was relating to Bradley Cooper's brother in the movie. So I thought that was interesting. There's many themes. It's interesting going into a movie like this because it's so emotional. And I'm sitting, we couldn't get seats last night, so I had to ask people to move 3 seats down
and
so
through
we
the
could.
kindness of Lethbridge, people actually moved down.
So thank you.
Begrudgingly, but they did, and we sat right behind your client.
Yeah.
Ducked out of that real fast after because she did not want to see her crying.
Hi, Marlis. So we saw you sitting in front of us, and we asked the crowd to move so we could sit down. And it was really cute because this straight couple moved down for us, and then I was sitting next to this gentleman, and he really thought it was funny when the drag queen characters from RuPaul's RuPaul's Drag Race was on. Shangela was RuPaul Drag Race winner or contestant, not winner. who was in Lethbridge. So it's so fun to see Shangela on the screen. But this male next to me was really enjoying Shangela's character and Willem's character.
Don't talk to me that bus driver wig.
It was really cute. And when he was crying, I was crying, and it made me have this relatable moment with like this male at the theater.
Kind of like cross demographical content. It really like touches everyone's heart watching it.
Well, it's interesting when you're in a theater and like you're having the same emotional response as someone you might not in real life.
Yeah.
So
for me, it was like I didn't know how I was going to go into it, like watching Lady Gaga, because there's this like pause up mother monster thing, and I just didn't know how believable or how like I would perceive her as being believable in this like serious role. But like by the end of it, I'm like, oh, Allie, you know, like I didn't really see Gaga anymore. I seen this character, which was really cool for me. She's a good actress. She was.
Spencer, have you listened to the soundtrack aside from the movie?
I bought it right away.
You bought it.
But it has interludes that have snippets of the show in it.
Yeah.
I didn't listen to any of those, and I actually only put the like Bradley Cooper tracks on my playlist if they had Lady Gaga too.
Yeah, very interesting because I added the Bradley Cooper songs once to the Catwalk playlist, but every Gaga song got added 3 times to the Catwalk Salon playlist. So interesting you said that.
I really liked Bradley Cooper's voice in it, though. Let's talk about that for a second.
Well, do you think Bradley Cooper is going to go for a recording contract after this movie?
I wouldn't say recording contract, but maybe if you like put out a couple EPs, it'd be fun. Because like when Nashville came, like that TV show Nashville, none of those people are actually singers, and you're actually hearing some of those songs on the radio. So now that he has like some songs on this album, maybe like we can hear a little bit more from him.
Is that like when Gwyneth Paltrow released a song?
On duet.
On duets?
Cruisin'.
Cruisin'.
She was also in the lead in a really, really great rendition of Turning Tables that I prefer almost, no, I don't say I prefer it over Adele because I love her.
Well, Goopy, or Goopy? Goop?
What'd you call me?
Gwyneth Paltrow. Goop did do a song on duets, and it was like on like adult radio all the time. So that's kind of where I
still would be probably.
Yeah, I feel like that's where Bradley Cooper would be in the recording world. I don't know if he's got the chops to carry this, like, you know.
The only thing I have to say about his voice is that it is great, and in the movie I didn't notice this nearly as much, but on the album he's supposed to be a legend, and so I feel like he's trying so hard to give his voice just more of a definitive sound than like a generic voice, which is probably what he would have being a late comer to being a singer. And again, like that probably could go away too, just with singing more and more. And again, it didn't sound bad. He sounds fantastic. He sounds good.
A long time to record this too, but like.
And he does sound really, really good.
Yes.
So in the movie, Bradley Cooper plays a rock star who has this guitar sound and this rock sound. It's not a sound I'm drawn to.
It's rock country.
But it's like a rock country sound. But a lot of these artists are carried through their persona and through the music and the guitar. And so his character was, his voice was also carried by his persona and his guitar.
Yeah. They actually even kind of touch on that in the movie.
They actually do. And then here comes Lady Gaga, who enters this world. And it wasn't actually her world, because she was actually performing in a drag bar with a lot of gay friends, drag friends. So
kind of a bio queen.
A bio
without
queen.
Actually talking about it.
So we've talked about bio queens on the show, and it's a biological woman who acts like a drag queen. And so here we see
who is a drag queen.
Or is a drag queen. Or acts like, but you're right, is. Sorry. And Lady Gaga is a bio queen. She has her eyebrows like glued down and an eyelash applied over top. But it actually led to her character and the development a lot, because I thought, you know what, she could become this pop star and this girl on SNL, because she knew the tricks. She knew how to paint her extensions or her wig and like put extensions in and put on eyebrows. Like, she knew all the tricks. So in the movie, when she became this theatrical artist, I liked that she had a background of drag queens and gays. It made it more realistic.
Agreed.
She wasn't just a country girl.
Yeah.
Because if she went from country girl to who Allie became in the movie, it'd be less believable.
Or just alternative girl even.
Or alternative.
Like burlesque?
A small town girl to drag queen. And all of a sudden she's like,
Oh, yeah. Well, I have seen that movie. It's good.
So Christina Aguilera went from a small town to becoming
she's
Cher.
like, I'm from Michigan, and then she's like,
I'm Cher.
Yeah.
So at
That
least.
was, totally believable.
It was good.
So if you're tuning in on Facebook Live, you got to remember we can actually see your comments.
Mhm.
So if you have a comment about the movie Star is Born, because we're about to spoil the crap out of that movie. So here we go. So
Here we go.
Bradley Cooper, who he was a drunk from the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
Alcoholism.
Alcoholism.
A huge alcoholic. Like
Yeah.
when she met him, he was barely cohesive in some ways.
That's
like,
true. I really liked in the movie they did not have sex on their first date.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know why I like that, because that's not how I like a first date. But I thought it
It's
was
also,
really
like,
cute.
They kind of like learn more because she's like talking to her father, like, you know, all about alcoholics, and like I'm not gonna date him because he's an alcoholic, and you know how that turns out, or however it happened. But that was like a little layer of complexity for her, having like a guard up and not being swept off her feet by this like rock legend.
Because she actually said to her dad, he's a drunk.
Yeah.
So you both saw the movie with me, and blink and you missed it. Did they explain what happened to Gaga's mother in the movie? Because I missed that.
Yeah, I don't. Not that I remember.
I was wondering if she was drunk.
No.
Because she referred to...
No, because she tried to rub it in the dad's face kind of at one point, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Okay. I couldn't feel
like that.
I think though too that like I liked that she wasn't instantly enamored with him. It wasn't this instant like, oh, I've met a rock star and I'm in love and I'm a
Right.
singer and I'm gonna
Yeah.
join. It was like,
I gotta go to
no,
work.
this guy has issues and like he's not even gonna remember who I am in the morning.
Yeah.
He was super high, like he's way too famous. I'm moving on with my life.
Yeah. I agree, because she's like, no, I can't go to your concert, I have work.
Yeah.
You know, she's getting paid minimum wage, and she didn't, like, was not like,
She's
I'm
not
going to
off
quit
to be
my
a
job
groupie
for him.
and- yeah.
For him, like, you know, to get laid once.
Yeah.
I just, listening to you say that, Spencer, Spencer and I are both big fans of Mariah Carey. Austin wasn't a big fan of Mariah Carey, but he's a big fan now.
I would
Sorts
say
of
I like
sorts.
appreciate her in a way I didn't appreciate before. I wouldn't say I'm like H-core Mimi fan. I'm not getting like a butterfly tattooed on my ass.
No, I wouldn't.
But you are a big fan.
Statement.
So it just reminded me talking to Spencer about that scene, because it reminded me of when Mariah Carey has had to play ugly for a film. And by ugly, I mean being shot from the angle she doesn't see a shot
from the left side.
Yeah,
She's
she
got
got
that
shot
whole
from-
new face drawn on over top of her face.
Yeah. And I really...
Myers mask.
So I really like that Lady Gaga did not play this glamorous character in the movie, and they like made her have a nude lip and a natural level 5 or 6 brown hair.
Yeah.
They've done that to Mariah in films. They've done it to J-Lo in films. They've done it to Halle Berry in films. So Gaga was stripped back, and she was very believable and likable.
Yeah.
And it was interesting to see her that way.
The funny thing too is like I almost feel like the visual art behind the whole last album for her, Joanne, was
Yeah.
like totally gearing into
Leading
this
into it.
movie in a weird way, and I don't know if that was premeditated or just serendipitous, but like she was totally stripped back, and she was going to like back to her like bar performing days, and just wearing like a crop top and a ponytail strategically on top of her head, and you know, like, and totally went back to like level 5 brown hair.
Totally.
And now she's like in this movie that way.
So if we would have went from art pop Gaga to this movie, it would have been a much different change. But
A little shocking.
But we went from Joanne to this movie, so it was a much easier pill to swallow.
Yeah.
But I
We didn't
also
Gaga
by the handful.
on it.
I felt that Lady Gaga over the last like more than 5 years probably even has been trying to show the world like, yes, I'm an outrageous pop star, but deep down I'm a singer-songwriter.
Yeah.
Like I did the outrageous pop star for the fun of it, but I can sing and I can live sing, and so that's what I felt with Joanne, and I also really felt that with this movie. It was just to again show audiences that are like, oh yeah, I know Lady Gaga. It's like, no,
Right.
she's a talented person.
Well, I don't think that her pop songs have resonated so hardly with everybody if she wasn't a good vocalist. So that was really interesting with Gaga, because she was doing these dance pop songs, and we were used to what do we call it, turd polishing. singers who are pretty, but they go in the studio and they polish that turd until it's a song for the radio. And they polish that turd until it's a diamond. And with Gaga, you didn't need to because her vocals were strong, but she was doing pop songs.
Yeah.
So I think
and the lyrics were strong.
Lyrics were
she
strong.
like fit in a mold to like get a great fan base before she started actually showing us her talent a little bit more.
So
like for the first like 2 albums, people were wondering if she had a penis or not.
Oh, I know. But actually,
Awful.
she actually did wear a fake mini penis under a dress in a performance in London, where she got off a motorbike and kind of flashed this mini penis. She liked the androgyny, hermaphrodite.
Oh, was she
comparisons.
saying like
Fuck
F you to the people saying that about her?
Right.
Because that's freaking terrible.
So before we go into our more serious topics and spoil the movie for you, I just gotta brag. I met Lady Gaga. Yes, me and Gaga hung out, and so we did hang out. So it's really cool because I went to the meet and greet for Lady Gaga here in Lethbridge, and when I went to go meet her, I had her LP. I had her long player, and it was a record. And she's like, "You have the vinyl," so she was instantly impressed. And I had some good questions for her, and then I got some photos of Gaga, and then I went home, changed, came back to her concert, did her opening act's hair, Kellyanne Litchfield. So Kellyanne opened for Gaga here in Lethbridge. And then I went back and got more photos and hung out with Gaga, and I was so excited.
2 outfits.
Yeah, I got like photos of Gaga in 2 outfits. So I like, it's not like I met her once, I got 2 different looks. Like I had to photograph myself in 2 different looks with Gaga. So, but the interesting thing is, I really thought that I was like instantly Gaga's friend because she thought I looked like the singer Mika. So Mika is a Greek singer, and Mika, that's what I said.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Mika, a popular songwriter in the late 2000s, and she thought I looked like a Turkish Mika, and I said I was a Turkish Mika, and she thought that was really cute. So she called me Turkish Mika. I thought we were friends. But then I found out that her dancer and manager just wanted to buy cocaine off me. And I was like quite upset because I'm not a cocaine user and I don't do those kind of drugs. But I thought like Gaga was inviting me backstage to be friends. But it was because her producer and her dancer wanted cocaine. So that was my experience with Gaga. So it was really
bittersweet.
The ups and the downs, the highs.
The highs and the lows. I was actually impressed though because Gaga did not ask me for drugs, just her producer and dancer. So that was my moment with Gaga. So anyway, she was very right from the get-go. She was very personable with her fans, and I think that makes her more likable as well. She came at the gate not this beauty star or Disney child. She was relatable to fans.
Yeah.
So I think that helped her get this role because she could be like everyday people.
Yeah, but she also like has kind of had like American Horror Story, like Hotel
true.
and Roanoke,
Yeah.
and like that horror movie with Quentin Tarantino, and like so
Machete 2.
Yeah, so she's like
Yeah.
kind of was going into this, and after the Super Bowl, like. What else do? You get a Vegas residency,
Right.
which she has landed and has done now, and going to acting, or like I don't know, what do you do after that?
That was a really good point. Austin brought up, where does Lady Gaga go from here in this career? She was trashed for doing art pop, saying it was too poppy. She went into this Joanne, she did this like 5'2" documentary, and now she's got this movie, and she's already done Super Bowl. So where do you go as a pop star from that point? And we love pop music, so we talk a lot about pop music in our spare time. We have been talking Ariana Grande for weeks. We've been talking Mariah and Gaga for years. Janet, like these are topics on our mind. So, where do you go from Super Bowl? And now Gaga has released this phenomenal film.
Yeah.
Will she do more films?
And the whole album to go with it.
You think she'll do more films?
Oh yeah.
Oh, you instantly like just yes, more films.
It was good.
I don't think that
Believable
she would have
actress.
done the other projects before this. Like if this was her first like thing and only because Bradley Cooper
Right.
saw like some actress in her,
Right.
then I would say like yeah, she didn't want it in the first place, but she obviously thinks acting's fun too, and it's a way to diversify your career.
I'm shocked by how many people tell me they saw this movie and really loved it, and clients are like, I wasn't a fan of Lady Gaga, but they are now. They're downloading this album. It's a real surprise hit for her, and she's really diversed herself.
Well, let's talk about him for a second too. Like, he produced this whole film.
Yeah, he was the
And
producer. That was surprising.
I am impressed on
I'm-
a whole new level. I've never like been at like you know,
I've never had
proud over Bradley Cooper. I was never like a man crush Monday kind of guy for him.
I never got a boner over him.
No. Well, no erections were had. But maybe we have some semis after that one.
Well, this
Just
one,
producing
well,
ability. I don't know.
I related,
impressed.
but a lot of times I related to that drunk character, and the aspects I saw in him were not my attractive qualities, like not the qualities that I would like to show forth. Like, you know, his character, it was complex, and
Yeah.
And he stayed in character the whole time. I liked that.
Yeah.
Like, not that
Like
he was
that you,
always
like-
like a drunk. Like there was
Yeah.
times where he was
You
sober,
get
but
the
he was
little
still in his character.
story, and you get the like glimpses of sunshine, and then you get the clouds.
It's funny to me though. Clients have told me how hot he is, and how attractive they are, but there was very few shirtless scenes with a couple. But I was like, it's funny how women seem to be women who seem to be drawn to this character who they can correct or fix or help.
Nursing complex.
That nursing complex. I'll love you back into life. Like,
Can't relate. Story of my freaking life.
Oh my God, that's not me, people.
No,
So,
that's
that's-
for you.
Okay, thank God.
My whole life.
Well,
And
but
many facets.
no, but I related to that character of
Mhm.
Bradley Cooper running off the stage to adoring fans to like, you know, getting heavily wasted and like
Do you,
disconnecting with life.
I'm kind of having like a epiphany right now.
Yeah, tell us.
The only times we've really seen him shirtless or like glorifying his body were in his sober scenes.
Oh, interesting.
That, yeah,
We've
you're-
never seen like drunk sexy Bradley
That's
Cooper. We've only
true.
seen sober sexy Bradley Cooper.
yeah, he was never on stage
I
taking
can't
his
even
shirt off.
remember his character's name. That's so terrible.
Jack.
Jack.
Was
Yeah.
it Jack?
Yes, it was.
So Jack and Allie.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are about to do a major spoiler. So she has this epiphany. Lady Gaga becomes a star through touring with him. She's writing and recording her own music, and now she's on SNL, and she is a pop star.
And she's up for 3 Grammys.
And she's up for 3 Grammys, and that's like when he takes that cupcake and he puts it on her face. I would have been like, you put a fucking cupcake on my face, I'm gonna smack you. Do not put anything on my face. But they made it this endearing moment, but I don't know if I could have.
I know, I didn't know if I could have either, because he kept smashing. Like, first he smashed all over her face, and then he thought it was funny to keep, like, rubbing, where I was like, I'm gonna kill you. And
I
he
think
just
yeah,
as
but
an audience
she like
member.
has her moment, but then she
Yeah.
walks away,
Yeah.
and then her face changes to like fuck. So it was almost like she was like diffusing his like
Childishness.
drunkenness, so it didn't turn into like
a
something
siren
more.
explosion.
She was
Like
smart.
she was like kind of playing him in order to save herself.
She did this headbutt thing. And then he pushed it and she made him like hit the wall. Like it was kind of weird.
Yeah. Oh, you want to play games? And then she like lifted her head, and then he
Yeah.
pushed through her and hit the wall.
But then-
she was like kind of manipulating his drunkenness, so it didn't turn into something.
Yeah, it showed her intelligence. If Gaga would have had the addictions that Bradley Cooper had, if she wasn't a strong woman already before he met her, this movie would have played out very differently. She would have been tossed to the wayside. She would have been a drunk.
Yeah.
But luckily, Gaga knew who she was. She had a job. She had drag
She's
queen
also around
friends.
really bitchy drag queens.
Yeah.
But she also alluded to the fact that she was in like rooms full of producers
She tried
who
to be
said
famous.
she
Right.
had like the voice and everything, but you're just not attractive enough to be blah blah. So she had a complex about her nose.
Right, and this is actually why the movie is believable, because when she went on the SNL and she became a pop star, she had all the tricks up her sleeve that the drag queens gays had taught her and what producers had told her. So when her dad would kind of call her out for having the talent but not the looks, she brought the showmanship, because he said Frank Sinatra had the snakeskin suit. Well, all of a sudden when she came out as her character, she was in lace suits and studded suits, and she had the character behind
the pizzazz, the wow factor.
behind the voice. So it was believable.
Yeah.
It was palatable. Palatable? Is that
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
Sellable, marketable.
So, okay. He goes on stage. Okay, she gets her Grammy. We love
For Artist of the Year, isn't it? Or Best New Artist?
Best New Artist. So
Yeah.
she gets New
The
Artist.
biggest Grammy you can get every year,
Yeah,
basically.
every year the New Artist of the Year. So here she is up for New Artist of the Year, and we watch award shows. We actually like to get together and actually watch award shows. We've talked about them on the show, and a moment such as Little Mama going up when Jay-Z and Alicia Keys were singing New York is so cringeworthy and career destroying, you know?
She's like the little brother of the music industry. I keep calling her.
We love you, Little Mama.
Treats her like the asshole when she's actually got some talent.
She really does. We love
her.
But these moments on award shows are so iconic, and like when
sometimes a lot of them happen in one night.
Yeah, Kanye was like taking the award from Taylor Swift and
on the same night as
Little Mama.
Little Mama.
Yeah.
And something else. Well, Janet
performed for Michael.
Yeah, because Michael just died.
Yeah.
All that happened on the same night. Isn't that crazy?
So when we're watching this movie and they're at the Grammys and Bradley Cooper falls on the stairs, we're horrified because we know how this can affect careers and it can create these viral moments. So he's sitting on the stairs as she gets her award. He
realizes she's
winning
after he's up there.
Oh, I was dying. This part of the movie, I was like, why are there not people pulling him off the stage?
Help her.
Help her. Help him.
Yeah.
So we all know Hollywood has handlers, and they could have definitely handled this situation better. Bradley Cooper goes up, and
look, you're on the screen.
You're on the screen.
That's stupid shit.
And then he pisses himself. Like, he had a Fergie moment, like full-on Fergie, but at least Fergie was performing.
Yeah.
So he sorry. So he just full out pissed himself, and is a very, very sad moment. And she tried to cover him, and he's pissing himself on stage. And this is enough to destroy a career.
Yeah.
And he goes into rehab, and actually the world never sees Bradley Cooper again. Ooh. I spoiled that. But anyway. That's what happens in the movie. So
we've warned.
We've warned you. We're spoiling.
Yeah.
So she wins Artist of the Year, and he pisses himself. It's horrific, and it's a very relatable moment for me where you've done something stupid and you're ashamed. It was very ugh.
Well, it was probably a very Kim and Kanye moment where it's just how embarrassed are you gonna make
Kim wasn't
me?
on stage trying to hide him with her dress.
But at the same time, I'm sure that she feels that way often, where it's now I'm gonna have to do damage control.
Yeah.
I work so hard to make us look professional and good
and brand yourself, and then you're really off brand by being an asshole.
But she was always cleaning up his messes. She was always trying to fix Bradley Cooper. Well, not fix him at all. She was just trying to make.
But she's also
make the situations
just
work.
Him and really wanted to just keep loving him and stand by her man, and she sees the best in him, and she's so grateful for him. But even if anyone else would be so embarrassed, and in that moment she's like, I'm not embarrassed by you.
No, she was really good with his alcoholism and with his, she wasn't trying to fix him. She accepted him for his flaws.
But that's also part of what makes it sad, is how often every day in society couples, people in a relationship, will ignore something so horrible that their partner does.
A little bit of abuse taking.
Oh, see, there's those feelings again. I'm having those feelings. So thank you, Lady Gaga, Bradley Cooper, for making a movie that made us feel feelings and have lots of discussion. So I know a lot of you have seen this film, so again, we will look at your comments here on Jess FM.
Alicia Anderson said the cupcake thing was so degrading, so she
yes,
that's for sure.
Who said this?
Alicia Anderson.
Alicia, I agree. That cupcake thing, when he put that on her face, I was dying. I was because you knew what he was doing. He was a little bit jealous, but the movie I actually thought was going to go different. I thought he was going to be a bigger dick for jealousy. But he actually wasn't. He was pretty supportive overall, but that was a private moment, at least in the bedroom, where he degraded her.
A couple times, that one and the bathtub scene.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But again, just showing what sometimes people put up with in relationships that are not actually acceptable behavior, and yet when you're in the middle of it, it just feels like life, right?
I was in a relationship where my ex couldn't really be proud of my successes, and that was really hard because when someone would say, "Oh, Levi, your hair is so beautiful," this person would say to me, or to the person, "Oh, it's extensions, it's not his," or "You have such long lashes, it's mascara." There was these kind of moments that were really degrading in a relationship, and these happen in relationships, and seeing that. It's
brought back some feels.
It brought back feelings, you know, for me, for everyone, for everyone.
Yeah.
So yesterday I saw this movie twice, 1 o'clock and 7 o'clock, so I've never done that before.
We'll go watch it again tonight at 10.
Let's go 10 o'clock.
We're going.
Let's go. It's time for the show. Okay. So, but it was funny because everyone who went to the movie with, we all had things we took away from that show. So we appreciate your comments as we talk.
Let's get to the big moment.
Okay, so
the ending. What happened?
Well, let's talk about rehab because rehab has been a big topic since. I'm gonna give what is her name? Rehab.
Demi Lovato.
No, to go to rehab, and I said no.
Amy Winehouse.
Amy Winehouse made rehab a really popular topic, even though it was happening before. But her dad said go to rehab. She said no.
Yeah.
But that ended with
took
her.
that situation and wrote a really big song about it and got the conversation going, but she died.
She died.
But she also actually said no, and that's where it led.
Yeah. Well, Bradley Cooper goes to rehab in the movie, and it's interesting because I really thought the movie was going to take a different twist at this point because I thought a lot of people go to rehab, they come out, they reuse the drugs, and then they OD. But there was another twist to this film, and he did not OD. So rehab looks like a really nice place. He's there for a couple months. His skin looked good. His eyes looked clear. Gaga visited him. And let's talk about that note she found.
Yeah, so she found like this note in a book that was like song lyrics, just saying like it's like the big song too at the end, like.
So she asked him like, "Hey, what about this song you wrote?"
Well, because she thought he tossed it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he said I
Like-
just figured it would come back to you
So-
later.
So you find yourself, meaning like you're going back to your song lyrics, you're going back to being a singer-songwriter, like
Yeah.
you're not this pop star, you're a person.
I don't know if we talked about this,
I
Spencer. Was it his suicide note?
Oh no. I don't know. I don't think so.
Because when she brought it to him, she says, "What is
And he
this?"
says I figured you'd find it when it came back to you.
Wait, I thought you'd find it when it came back to you. So now looking, because I went to it twice.
Yeah.
I actually believe that final song lyric was not a lyrics. It said, "My love, if I knew this was the last time I'd see you, I'd say goodbye this way."
Oh, okay. So she turned his suicide note into the song.
Yeah, I know it
Very
makes it more.
cool.
It makes it more heartbreaking.
It
So.
definitely does. It's a sad song on its own.
So watching it again, we actually realized the final song was actually not a song lyric he'd written. She called him out on it, and it was actually his suicide note she sang at his funeral. So how heartbreaking is that? Bradley Cooper got out of rehab, and her asshole manager kind of laid into him, but it's not his fault.
It is his fault. It's not his fault.
The disease is his fault.
But I have to admit, it took everything in my power to not shout through the theater at the part where they were saying it's nobody's fault. I'm like, her manager! He was clean! He was sober! It might have still been embarrassing, but you would have been around.
I gotta say, Spencer did bite his tongue at the theater, because when they said it's no one's fault, he did what he yelled.
I wanted to...
It's a manager!
Yes! And I mean, again, it was not the manager, but the manager was so awful to her and so awful to him, like, made her feel like crap for wanting him to go
Hey,
to her.
okay.
And goes behind her back and makes him feel like a piece of garbage.
I agree, but Devil's Advocate manager got her on SNL on finale season finale
Triple Grammy
and triple Grammy nomination. So
in a year.
So it's not really if you're going into the music industry, there's a lot of things to play.
Yeah.
So she had a great manager. She got up for 3 Grammys and SNL. So, but yeah, he did kind of like not wear socks and like make his
He wore
lady socks. Oh my god.
So
Bradley Cooper hung himself.
yeah.
He hangs himself. So go see the movie. He kills himself. It's horrible. Gives the dog a steak. I was like, why is he giving that dog a steak? And I was like, oh, he's giving him a final meal.
Yeah.
Gave the dog a steak and then hung
Nice the
himself.
dog. Also to like get him out of the way for a little bit.
Is that what it was?
Well, yeah, because the dog didn't show up till like at the door.
Till you ate
later.
the steak.
Yeah.
Dogs and cats, you're so horrible. You just care about the food.
No.
No, he didn't want his
That's how
dog
much I
to
love
see
you.
that.
Yeah,
his
he
dog
loves
was
his
his
dog.
baby. He didn't want the dog there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I just thought it was about like our pet's gluttony.
He wanted
Levi wants Cleo
one
to-
last really beautiful thing for his dog, who was like his kid. The closest thing to a home that he'd ever had.
What's his dog?
and
Well,
his
that
house that had never felt like a home before until she came there.
You two are making me want to
Well,
cry.
Well,
It's
it
'cause
does.
it's a super sad movie.
Think about it deeper.
Okay, so I want to say, like, all they had to do is, like, they were like, let's take some good stuff from Marley and me and take the cute dog and put it in the movie because it's going to, like, pull out heartstrings. Because I knew once they pull out that fluffy dog in the movie.
Every
Oh,
country
cute.
artist has a guitar, a truck, and a dog.
I agree.
Cutest dog.
But, like, by bringing a cute dog into this movie, it made it appealing to more people. Do you guys agree with that?
No.
Did this movie not become better because they brought a cute dog?
No.
It added
Everything
another
better
layer
because
to
of
the,
everything.
like,
I
drama,
agree,
kind of.
Spencer. I agree. I don't think that made the whole movie.
I think the dog
But it did
made
make
the
it better
movie more
for me.
likable. Me too. I like.
But that's just because I'm obsessed with animals.
Yeah, I like cute pets. So that was. I think they pulled at our heartstrings by bringing that dog out.
Yeah, well, I think.
I was sadder for the
Gave
dog
it
than
home.
if it was a baby.
Yeah, me too.
So no matter what,
Okay.
no one had seen Bradley Cooper since he pissed himself at the Grammys. He went away to rehab, and then he.
Came out really good.
Yeah, he came out looking good, feeling good. Manager was an asshole, gave the dog a steak. He was going to perform the song Shallow, which was the first song Gaga played with Bradley Cooper's character Jack in the movie, and he was going to perform at her final tour. So in the beginning of the movie, we saw Bradley Cooper having these concerts and Gaga singing the song Shallow, and now the roles have reversed. It was now
It was
her
like the
concert.
kickoff concert for her.
No, it was the finale
Well,
concert
she
of her
lied to
tour.
him. It wasn't. She was going to do a European leg. Of
That
her
was the
tour.
lie?
That was
The lie she told?
Yes.
Oh.
She was going to Europe.
Okay, mine's your explode. She was going to Europe. I thought it was her final concert in LA, like she told
She
him.
lied.
She's a liar. That's what you get for being a liar.
But again,
No,
just
that's
shows
not
how
true.
fragile like relationships can be, especially when there's addiction involved. And I, for one, believe that every single person on earth suffers from addiction. So,
Yeah, and we're all liars.
well,
Sometimes.
we're all
Liars by
human.
nature.
Like, I mean, that all
Survive
comes
however
with
you
it,
need
right?
to.
So,
Yeah, but suffer from sorry, you're saying that we all suffer from addiction.
yeah, but and then lying is part of it, though. Like that's
Yeah.
how we sometimes get away with our addictions, how we hide our addictions. I mean, it is all connected.
Well, I'm gonna admit I never knew what Gaga meant at the end of the movie when she said my last words to him were a lie. But now I actually understand the tour was not over. So I'll go back to the point that I thought here's the when he introduced Gaga to the world, Ali, he was on his world tour, she sang the song Shallow, and now
But
she
wrote
brought
in a parking lot.
she wrote, and then she brought him back on her final concert date to perform Shallow with him, but he never arrived because Bradley Cooper hung himself. She even prayed for her husband before she went on stage, showing how much she loves her husband and believed in him, and she was unaware of how much in despair her husband really was. And so she went on to perform, and Bradley Cooper's character was hanging in the garage with that cute dog sitting outside the door. It was heartbreaking. I thought he was gonna just OD on the drugs.
No.
No, yeah, he found his pills, and I thought he was gonna OD.
Well, there's this guessing because like you don't know. He goes out of his truck and you're like, is he gonna gas himself in the truck? And then he finds pills. Okay, he's gonna OD. Oh, maybe he'll take the pills and then crash, and then he goes back inside. With a
Well,
belt.
and that's because sadly sometimes that is how suicide goes. Is where I mean,
They're just-
especially in
they're
his
finding a way.
situation. I mean, there's so many different types of suicide, but his in this movie was showing where you're doing it, it's happening, it's happened. Like this isn't I'm getting stressed and I'm overwhelmed and I'm getting anything. This is it just happened, and so I do think that when it's not as thought out, you would kind of go through your head like, oh, should I take my pills or like what's because sadly with suicide too, you're thinking about how people are going to find you, and you're
Right.
like, what's the least traumatizing way to find that I killed myself? Like,
Right.
with no head, or like there's no good way.
I was watching that and I was thinking, none of us are strangers to suicide or as a topic, although we don't talk about it all the time, which is actually one of our topics tonight. And I was actually thinking, out of rehab, he was going to try drugs again and OD, which I've seen a friend do. Come out of rehab, they use the same amount of drugs they had used before, and they die. And so when he found those pills, I thought he was just going to OD again, or OD for the first time. And then I thought, no, he's going to gas himself. And then I'm like, oh, fuck, it's on the belt. I'm like, he's going to hang himself. It was horrific. So If you're watching,
we have some comments from both of your moms, I think.
Okay. So we got some comments. Evelyn.
Shame, double shame.
Okay, hi Evelyn. I want to give a big shout out to Spencer's beautiful mother, Evelyn. I've known you, Evelyn, for so many years. You're a wonderful artist and a beautiful person. And we talked about this movie in person, and I hadn't seen it. So you said there might be magic in this movie, Evelyn.
Because you weren't sure. You didn't know if you liked it or not. Like, you didn't know what the hype was about.
Yeah, so Evelyn, we actually got to have a moment, me, you, Spencer, in my house. And I want to say the movie was magic. And it did have that magic, but it was very... it's real. And
raw.
It's palatable to a lot of tastes.
Yeah, true.
A lot of people can taste those things.
We go from your mom into your mom.
What my mom say? Hi,
was
Mom.
that horrible manager's fault?
It was.
I'm just going to comment on that.
Joanne.
It's so easy to blame people for an addiction, like somebody else's fault, or to like look for blame in something in those situations when it is a disease and it's the disease's fault. Honestly,
You're
it's
so
like
right. I mean, his whole
nobody
life led
else's
to that
fault
moment.
that somebody else can like do something.
Mom.
Devastating
This is
in
a tough
life.
conversation.
Okay, but also...
Yeah, we're talking about it. Like,
Come on,
we're
Mom.
here.
One comment does not commit suicide. Like, it's a build-up.
But we also have to think about the kids that are bullied to suicide. Then what's that about?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like
People are bullied to suicide.
So
that's true.
again, like I do agree with Austin 100%. Like, there's never a place to. We can't point blame at a person.
No, but
that's
it's
not
so
fair.
easy to, and it's also human nature to want to
Find a
like
reason.
justify or find any reason possible for something so devastating.
Well, because we're so ashamed in our society.
Like you
Whose
can
fault is
never
it?
honestly blame anyone else other than the situation, and but there's no blame. It just everything in his life ended up taking him to that one point that was pivotal, and it didn't go well.
Okay, so we talked a lot about this movie yesterday, and they talked about it with multiple friends, and some of them who've dealt with suicidal thoughts. Not that many of our listeners have either had them or had someone in their life go through this. And so one of the main things is a takeaway I had was, I want you to know Bradley Cooper was drinking heavily right off of a concert tour. So he came off in the beginning of the movie off stage, drank hard liquor as much as he could, found a bar, drank as much as he could. He was doing drugs and drinking privately throughout the movie.
That he was drinking right from 13 with his dad.
He was drinking at 13 and even attempted suicide at 13 with his father. So I want to say it's not just one manager's or one person's comments. If Lady Gaga wouldn't have been his lover and he just had some side chick from the concert following him around the world, it would not be her fault either. So there's a deep-rooted message in this suicide. I don't want to we can't blame one moment or one comment, because we actually showed, when you look back at the movie, it was an ongoing behavior before Gaga. So if you're in a relationship where someone has committed suicide and you think it's your fault, these are problems that were probably there before. Or if you think, why didn't I call my friend that day? You know, these are situations and feelings that this person had before. It's not your fault. Because I think a lot of people take guilt from suicide. These are one of the things we talked about.
Extreme situations.
Right.
Of, where kids are literally bullying them to death while they stand in a circle and the kid kills them. You know, it's extreme situations. Levi's 100% right. I mean, when we were getting bullied in high school, it wasn't just one moment that made it so traumatic when somebody said fag. It wasn't just one, and so
800 that added up.
Right. So if you got called faggot 100 times, and then that last time is when you killed yourself. It wasn't that
last bully who punched you while he said faggot.
Although, but it's also that moment where we realize a little bit of kindness can go a long way. And so the manager could have been a little kinder in that moment, but I don't know if it would have changed the outcome of this movie or this love story.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But the world never did see Jack back on top of his game. They got to see him pass away. So yeah. So you know what is crazy? We had a lot of topics tonight for you, but
7:54.
It's such a sensitive topic that we just went 56 minutes and we haven't even got through the end of this movie. So if you have not seen Star is Born, we are not paid by the company, but go check it out. It's a great film. Brings up a lot of dialogue. I'm obviously going to have we're going to have Spencer back on the show to talk a little deeper about some of our subjects we wanted to cover tonight. So we're going to quickly go into weekly roundup of gossip and moments that happened this week. So
We got like lightning round.
we're going to do the lightning round. So if you are familiar with you asked for it, we always do a big topic, and now we're going into our 5-minute lightning round. So Spencer, we're going to have you back. We're going to talk about some more serious topics. If you don't follow Toy Friends Official on Instagram, you can follow Spencer and I on Toy Friends. You can follow Siren Photos on Instagram.
Which is poppin'.
Yeah.
Really, really good Instagram. If you want to see some wicked photos. Your artistry is amazing.
So Spencer is also Spencer Jensen, an amazingly talented hairstylist and artist at Catwalk Salon Spa.
And a beautiful soul.
And a beautiful soul. So call him up and go see Star is Born Again. So, okay, you two ready? I'm going to go through some hot topics, and we're going to have you. We're going to have Spencer back. We're going to talk about a serious topic. We're going to talk suicide.
More about suicide and more just about mental health and
mental health, suicide topic coming on. You asked for it soon.
Next week.
But it's not going to be. It's not about a Debbie Downer. It's about how we can
start a dialogue.
Yeah, start a casual dialogue.
So, yeah. So thank you for joining us tonight, Spencer.
I'm happy to be here.
Thank you. So here we go. We're gonna go on some hot topics. Okay, ready for this? We have a very sad moment today. Stan Lee has passed away.
Yeah, I wore my Marvel Avengers bracelet today for him.
So Spencer and I are big nerds, and Austin has become a bigger nerd since knowing us. And so we want to thank Stan Lee for making us feel normal, for creating characters who were misfits, who were heroes, and they were flawed, but they found their groove.
Well, I mean, we know so many people in the gay community grew up loving comic book characters because, especially the mutants, because again, at teenage, something happened, and for gay people, again, it was at teenage, you started to realize you were different.
So mutants.
So thank you for showing us that different was good and that it was cool, actually.
Stan Lee created not only Spider-Man, Thor, Fantastic Four, many more, but he created the X-Men, and they actually had a superpower that started at puberty, which is a lot of times when gay people did find out they were queer.
You started to notice that you were more attracted to one or the other. Yeah,
you're different, and you were an outcast, and the mutants had to kind of come out in a way, and they were scary to society. So Stan Lee, you had a big vision. You meant a lot to us, and we're sorry for your passing. We're happy you got to see your characters brought to life in movies and films, and we got to see you in all those cameos. And 95 is an amazing lifespan.
And he went out at the top of Marvel.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't like the guy who owned Toys R Us. You left on the best note, so thank you.
So thank you, Stan Lee, and rest in peace. We love you so much. Okay.
The fun one.
Well, so let's go on.
Lighten it up.
Let's lighten it up. Okay. So let's talk about Neil Young. Neil Young, keep on rocking in the free world. 2 weeks ago, I talked about on the show my first concert ever to smoking pot, and it was to Neil Young, and I was like crying, and now I'm buying legalized pot in Canada and Alberta. Neil Young told Donald Trump last week to quit, 2 weeks ago, quit playing Keep on Rocking in the Free World at your rallies. Like,
Rihanna also did the same thing.
Rihanna,
we talked about that last week.
Rihanna said, "Stop playing! Please don't stop the music." Aerosmith. Pharrell said, "Please stop playing Happy." And Neil Young did a cease and desist. Keep on rocking in the free world. Please stop, because
the song goes against everything that you
stand
are doing.
Trump, everyone fucking hates you. I don't like you. I don't like you. Not everyone. I don't like you, man. You're not nice. You gotta be kind in this world.
Yeah.
And so
he has just been rocked with these midterm elections.
Yes, you've been rocked but please leave Pharrell, Rihanna, and definitely Neil Young out of your playlist.
Yeah, like maybe if Candace Bure records an album, you can use some of her songs.
She
loves you. DJ Tanner.
Oh yeah, maybe if Candace Cameron makes an album, you play her music. But basically, don't play these artists who obviously oppose you. So Neil Young's home has burnt down. He's married to the beautiful Daryl Hannah from Splash, A Mermaid We Love.
My hair inspiration.
His hair inspiration. So please stop playing Neil Young's music. His home has burnt down. And he actually said, you're not a leader. And quit pointing fingers at the victims. And it's actually very sad. And I actually could see those pictures of California on fire from outer space. So our hearts go out to the California people whose homes and lives and firefighters are being lost and they're fighting for. And it's crazy. So Donald, not the right time. I love that your blimp was baby blimp was flying in Paris. That was pretty cute.
Yeah.
Love your baby blimp of you screaming and crying in a shitty diaper. That's cute. I like that. Yeah, it was Remembrance Day, and so was the 100 years since World War I. So we need to remember to be kind to each other, to be proud for everyone who fought for our freedoms and rights.
Appreciate the freedoms that we have because of those who fought for us.
100%. Leaving this show on a note, is there anything you would like to leave us with tonight, Spencer? You could be Remembrance Day, it could be Donald, Toy Show's Mermaids,
Profound.
it could be download the album. What do you want to leave us with tonight?
Everybody, check out what's going on with Ariana Grande. Because it's kind of weird.
Okay, so Ariana Grande, yeah, what's up with Woman of the Year, Song of the Year? I don't know.
Like, I like her, but check it out. There's some weird stuff going on.
Are you talking Illuminati stuff?
I don't know what I'm talking about.
Blood
There's
sacrifice?
some sexy baby things.
Okay, so anyway, beyond that, happy Remembrance Day. Please be kind to each other, be grateful for our freedoms, and go see Stars Born.
Go see Stars.
Thanks for watching, everyone, on Jess FM. This is You Asked For It with Austin, Levi, and Spencer.
Thanks for tuning in. We'll have you back, Spencer. Thanks for joining us.
Happy Monday.
Okay, bye. I couldn't believe when I looked at the clock.